1.
We would like to start with your name. Could you please tell us your name?
My name is Mary Wolf Depew.
I'm Jennifer.
And my name is Antonio.
Antonio. Okay, pleased to meet you.
Nice meeting you too. So first we're going to talk about your childhood.
Okay.
What kind of activities or games did you play when you were younger?
I grew up in a rural area in western New York called Hamlin, New York. And it was in the 1940s and the early 50s. I was a child. And the games I played were probably with my cousins who visited at our home. We would play hide and go seek, played softball. Those are the games I remember. Maybe we played in the barn, in the hay, and jumped around and stuff. As a young person, I had access to a tractor, a Ford tractor, and my parents allowed me to just drive it. So I drove the tractor very fast, and one time almost went into a huge pond. When I put the brakes on, the brakes didn't work, and the tractor kept going, and I had to make a decision whether to stay on the tractor because it was going to go over a slope into the pond. So I jumped off and let the tractor go.
Was that scary?
Terrible. It was like a nightmare. I ran all the way home. Maybe I lived maybe a half mile home. I just ran. It was so close to death, I guess. So anyhow, I didn't get a spanking or any thing from my father because he felt the brake linings, something happened. Actually, I think I was going too fast, but he didn't.
He didn't need to know that.
So my older brother was mowing the lawn, and so I told him first, and he couldn't believe I did that. He was, I think he was at Annapolis at the Naval Academy, so he always was kind of perfect as a person. He was kind of like, I can't believe you did that. So they pulled it out with an Oliver tractor, a bigger tractor. They pulled it out of the pond, but my father could not use it because it was waterlogged. So that was one of my activities. I was kind of adventuresome. And then at school, I went to a Lutheran school down the road, and at recess we played all kinds of games outdoors. In the winter, we were allowed to build tunnels in the snow, have snowball fights. And at recess, we had a big gym, so we would play a lot of team games. So, yeah, and board games. We played a lot of board games in my home.
So you said there's tractors and barns and hay, so I'm guessing you lived on a farm?
Yep, an agricultural farm. My father owned 360 acres. He was a dairy farmer, and he also grew crops. And then later, when I was around 12, we moved to a smaller farm because my father had back injuries, so he couldn't do a lot of heavy work. So we changed to a small crop farm and chickens. We got chickens, and we had to pick or get the eggs, and we had to clean all the eggs. It was a big job.
What state did you grow up in?
New York State.
New York City.
New York State.
Oh, New York State.
Yeah,
Okay.
western New York, near Rochester, Lake Ontario. New York City was 400 miles from my home, and I never went there until I was in college in Chicago, and my friend of mine invited me to New York City. But to go to the city was a big deal. To go on vacation when you were a farm child, we rarely went on vacation just because it was a splurge. And when you have a dairy farm, that's 7 days a week work.
How was the experience in New York City?
When I went to New York, it was excellent. My roommate lived in Scarsdale, or not my roommate, but my college friend. So New York City was enthralling. We went to a Mets baseball game. I think it was opening season. We saw Hello Dolly on Broadway. That was when Carol Channing was in the performance. We took the train from Scarsdale into New York, so it was like great, super.
Did you go to college?
I did. I went to the State University College of New York in Brockport. It was about 8 miles from my home. I could only stand it for 3 years. It was very boring. And so in my senior year, I transferred to Chicago to Concordia Teachers College. And I got my bachelor's degree there.
Is there anything you didn't like about New York?
About New York State? Well, my hometown was really boring. because everybody kind of was German American, so everybody was Lutheran. Everybody, there was hardly any diversity, and nobody aspired to anything greater than to just get married and have a family and live there. I like my hometown now, but at that age, at age 18, it was really not much. You know, small town life where you could predict what everybody said, you know. But when I went to Chicago, that was the best.
So you prefer the busy city life?
Well, I did. But I'm a